my Stampin' friends. Thank you for joining me today. I am going to show you how to make this happy birthday easel card. You can see it features this beautiful thoughtful journey designer series paper, one of the new in colors, Petunia Pop. And you open it up and it says happy birthday, and then your recipient can actually set it. It's like an easel. They can set it on their desk or on their fireplace, mantle, wherever they want to put it, to have a reminder that they are so loved that they received a handmade birthday card. And obviously you can change up the paper, change up the sentiment, and make it suitable for anyone in your life that deserves to be celebrated. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Linda Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and my business is named Crafty Heron Designs. So to go ahead and get started with this, we are going to use the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set. I am not using the dies in this particular card, but but dies are available and they are gorgeous. Lots of fun dies, but we are going to use the sentiments from this stamp set. And, oh, I just knocked off my butterfly. And the paper, and we're going to do some coloring on the envelope. So I'm going to set this aside, and let's go ahead and get started. So if you've ordered the card kit from me, it will come in an envelope like this, and it'll be already cut and scored for you. You will just have to assemble the paper, but I'm going to go through this anyway in case you want to make duplicates or you have not gotten the card kit. So the card base is cut 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and it does fit into our standard envelope. So it's 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and it is scored at 4 1/4 and 6 1/2. So set that aside. So you'll need your card base. This is Mossy Meadow. Then the second layer, this one is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And it's just a square. Again, I chose Mossy Meadow. And then we're going to have 2 layers on top of that. You can see like this. So I've got Petunia Pop, which is 4 by 4. So they're just 1/4 inch smaller each one. And then this is the designer series paper, and it is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So you will see this designer series paper is different than the original one I made. I wanted to show you that you could change it up. And you know what I should have done is just kept one available so you could see. Here, I'll do this. So I cut down the original paper. I've used them all, so I can't show you all of them. But what I can show you is kind of what it looked like. It was kind of like this. So you can see that I cut this particular paper down. I cut it down 1 inch from the bottom. So at first I cut it to 3 3/4 from the left, 3 3/4. And then I cut off 1 inch at the bottom. And then I cut this piece to 3 3/4. So whatever that leaves off a 6 would be like 1 1/4 inch, right? Or 1 1/2 inch from the top. So that's how I got that piece. And of course I still have these other little pieces. I think that one would go like that. And where's my top? This is probably, here we go. That's what it looked like originally. Not exactly. Not sure where that, oh, maybe that one came from. There we go. It was the wrong side. So there you go. So I cut it. First thing I did was cut 3/4 inch from the left. I kind of just decided what I wanted to be the center of the paper. Then I cut off 1 inch from the bottom, and then I cut this piece to 3 3/4. So it's another 1 1/4 inch from there. So that was the original paper. And I did basically the same thing for the other design. And there are lots of beautiful designs in this paper that would work for this card. But I just really love that watercolor image. So that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I have for the inside layer, I have a basic white, which is 4 by 4. And then for the easel, what I did was I have a coordinating designer series paper. This is also from that same suite. It's really pretty. You can see it's metallic and it's the similar colors. Petunia Pop isn't actually listed as one of the colors in this paper, but I feel like it works really well with this paper. So this one is 4 inches by 1 1/2 inches. And then I have a cardstock layer, Mossy Meadow again, which is 4 by 7/8 of an inch, and then a layer of basic white that's going to layer right like that, and that is also going to be 4 inches by 3/4, but I'm going to stamp it first and then cut it down. So let's go ahead and assemble our card. Well, let's go ahead and do our stamping. Let's get the stamping out of the way. So I'm going to bring in a little piece of scrap. I'm using this Sweetly Scripted stamp set. It's got many different sentiments. I'm going to use the Happy Birthday, but you can see that you could use any of these sentiments. I like the fact that they've got this length to them, and that I just love the script. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that one. And so I'm going to use I'm going to start with the Mossy Meadow ink because it's the same color as my background. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that ink pad in. And I need paper here because this sentiment is so long that it'll go over. So because it's so long, what I want to do is I'm going to apply the ink to the stamp set rather than the other way around. That way too, I can really see, did I get good coverage and did it go over at all? So I'm just going to line that up. I'm really just worried about lining up the center part of the sentiment because the ends, I'm going to cut off the ends anyway. So I just kind of want to make sure I get it kind of fairly centered. There. Okay, there we go. Set that one aside. And then the inside sentiment is going to be, set this one aside. I'm going to use this. Now remember, when you're lining up your sentiment, this piece is going to be here. So you want your sentiment to be up a little bit higher on your page, which I do normally do that with a sentiment, but just kind of wanted to make sure you remembered that. So I'm using the Thinking of You Fondly, which is a sentiment inside the this stamp set. It is part of the Thoughtful Meadow stamp set, and I just wanted to make sure. I like to go ahead and make sure that I've got it stamping correctly before I do the first one, and I'm kind of just eyeballing this one to get it centered. Here we go. Great. Let's set that one aside. And then my envelope, I did do a little, I love these little flowers. I'm not really sure what they are, but we're going to color them in a little bit too. So that's going to go on my envelope. There we go. Set that aside. Okay, now let's talk about the coloring. I'm going to bring in, these are blender pens. They come 3 to a set. And I use them for a lot of different things. And this is one example of what I'm going to do. So it actually has, I believe it's a silica gel. And of course I just stamped that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of my blender pen and I'm kind of going over the ink that's already here, right? Because I did just stamp that. So there's a little bit of moisture. And I'm just pulling in using the existing ink that is on the stamp set. It's a very subtle, and if you feel like it's not enough, okay, maybe this is too dry. Let me try the other side. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use a different one. This is a totally different one. Okay, here we go. Can you see how by going over the outline, I'm just drawing in some of that ink from the outline. So I get a very subtle color. So that's a really good, easy way to get some color on your images. That's very subtle. All right, so that's one way to use your blender pen. Just go ahead and stamp and then go over it. Now I'm gonna bring in, I'll show you another way. This is Petunia Pop, and I wanna color my flowers. So I'm gonna put a little bit of ink on this block, and then I'm gonna pick up some of the ink with my blender pen, and I'm gonna test it first. That's pretty dark, so I wanna get it a little bit lighter. And now I'm actually trying to avoid the green. I think it'll be okay, but I don't want to take a chance on getting any of that mossy meadow in my flowers. And I think you can see that I'm not trying to be, like I'm staying in the lines, but I'm not trying to be like super neat or anything. And as I lose a little bit of color, I can kind of come in and bring in a little bit more. But I'm just kind of loosely trying to add some color there. Isn't that pretty? And you can see I'm leaving some white, so it gives it more of kind of a watercolor look. And then to clean the blender pen, all I do, of course you can see it's stained because I had done some previous blending with it, but I'm gonna just on the side, see how I've got it on? I'm not gonna use the point, I'm going by the side and just rubbing it on my paper until all the color has been erased. All right, and then this can be cleaned as you would normally clean your stamps. So that's it. That's all of the stamping in this card. So now let's put it together. Set that aside. All right, so the card base, it's folded at 4 1/4. I'll bring in my bone folder and just go ahead and fold it at 4 1/4. And then I've got this other score line that I did, which was 6 1/2. Fold that. So you're going to fold it like, see, like that. So that was fold it in half, and then bring this one up because that's going to make your easel. And I'm going to put the inside first. I happen to be on team liquid glue, so that's what I'm going to use. But if you prefer snail or whatever kind of adhesive you prefer, you go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's that one. And then this piece is going to be the front. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these 2 layers together. So I'm going to put the petunia pop on this 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. No, 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. And then this one, 4 by 4. And I suppose, no, he would want, I mean, I knew that's the way the original one was, but for a minute there I thought, well, maybe I want to turn it, but I don't. Okay, so that's there. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to put adhesive only on this part of the fold of the card front, right? And I'm going to show you because we're going to layer that, just square it up. So the edges are going to be all even. And then that becomes the stand-up part. Okay, I'm going to go through that again, this time with the adhesive. So I'm going to take my adhesive and I'm only putting it on the lower half of this card below the fold line. And then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to line it up, square it up, which it makes it really easy because it's basically, you just make sure that all the 4 corners are even. Give it a good back rub. And then there's your easel, right like that. So you don't have to worry about any of that, right? You just line that up. Okay, and now we'll come lining this piece up. So I've got my happy birthday. I'm going to decide about where I want it to come together, like how far right to left, because this piece is going to be, cut correctly. This was the 4 inches, but I left this white piece a little bit longer. And I don't know if I told you, but this one is 3/4 of an inch wide. So just a little bit wider than that one. So I'm just kind of looking at, see where I want it to be. Okay, right about like that. So I'm going to, do I want to glue first or trying to decide? I think I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back. I'll put it on here. I know that I want to go end to end with my adhesive, but not top to bottom. So I'm going to make sure I don't get too close top to bottom. And then line this up. And then I'm going to cut it afterwards. So I do classes here in Greensboro, Georgia. If you are in the area, I'd love to see you. I'm out in Lake Oconee, if you're ever out here visiting. Or if you live in the area, love to see you at one of my classes. I also do classes to go. So if you see, if you want to find out information about my classes, get kind of a sneak peek of the cards, you can sign up for my newsletter. All the information is in the description of the video. And if you just want to follow me online and see when I put new videos out, if you just want to follow along, you're welcome to do that. I would suggest you subscribe to my channel or my Facebook page. I'm a little bit better about putting my videos on YouTube. I sometimes forget to put them on Facebook, but they get there eventually. All right, so you can see I'm taking this designer series paper and I'm just leaving, I don't know, about less than 1/4 of an inch down there, like that. And now this piece, and this is important, this is going to be popped up because that's what's going to hold the easel part. So I'm going to take some dimensionals and I'm going to pop that baby up. So this is a great way to use up if you have the ends from your dimensionals. Let me think about this. I want to make sure that they're up a little bit higher so that I get a good easel effect. Now you can just use regular dimensionals, but what I did, in case you're looking, so you know our dimensionals come on this sheet and you can peel them off individually, but they also then leave kind of these borders. So that's what I'm using, is that border. And I'm going to go ahead, usually I wait until I'm done with all of them, like that one, but I took the borders off early. I kind of try and wait, but you know, not this time. Rules are made to be broken. It's not really a rule. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and just beef that up and I'll put that down. So if you like what you see, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up or make a comment. That helps other people find my videos. I certainly would appreciate that. And if you want to purchase anything that you see on my channel today, I'd love to help you unleash your inner creativity and supply your Stampin' Up items. Oh, I almost forgot my butterflies. I do love these little butterflies. Let's see, we're gonna put, I'm gonna put one here. Do I want a big one or a little one? Maybe I'll put a big one there. These are little gold, they're kind of a brushed gold metallic butterfly. I think they're so cute. All right, let's see, let's put one there. And then I'm gonna take another one. You know what? I think I want another big one. Those flowers are big. Maybe, let's see. So that one's going to be that way. Maybe like that. All right, let me bring in the other one and let me know which one you prefer, if you have a preference. Those are the two different papers. Isn't that just gorgeous? I mean, these, I'll tell you, these papers are original watercolors that are designed by Stampin' Up artists, and they are just fabulous. They really are amazing. They do such a wonderful job. So there's the first one, and there's the second one. Let me know, do you have a preference? Do you like the one with the conifers in it, the trees, or just with the flowers? I think, you know, either way, the recipient's going to be very happy to receive this little birthday card. So have a great rest of your day. I hope that you will feel inspired to create something of your own. Go ahead and use what supplies you have. And if you really do like that thoughtful journey paper is amazing. So I encourage you to kind of take a look at that and consider that. It's just, you know, Stampin' Up makes us look really good too, combining all those colors and coordinating all of them. So bye for now. Have a great rest of your day.